Hey there, homestead dreamer. Whether you're just starting out or have already dipped your toes into the homesteading world, I've got something special for you. It's all about setting up a solid foundation for your homestead plan and income strategy through thoughtful action and implementation. Because let's face it, starting a homestead is not too difficult, but keeping it sustainable can be a real challenge. Now, the decisions you make in those early years can truly make or break your experience. You either end up feeling confident and content, or you find yourself caught up in a never-ending struggle, like on a hamster wheel. And we definitely want to avoid that. That's exactly why I've created an amazing resource for you, the Workshop for Beginner Homesteaders and Dreamers. With this tool, you'll have a rock-solid foundation to build your homesteading dream upon. In the pre-recorded workshop, you'll dive into some valuable topics such as strategies for planning, savings, and generating an income, how to find and become a part of a supportive homesteading community, and developing the right mindset for homesteading success. And here's the cherry on top. Throughout the month of June, I'm offering my workshop for beginner homesteaders and dreamers at a special discount price. It's an hour and 40-minute video where I personally guide you through most of the Homesteading for Beginners workbook, which is included in the workshop price, by the way. To grab this offer, head over to healthyhomesteading.com/workshop and use the code podcast at checkout. With this code, you'll get over 20% off the already low regular price. But remember, this discount is only available during the month of June, so make sure you take action soon. You can find all necessary links in the show notes of this podcast episode as well. I'm eager for you to get started. Let's make your homesteading dreams come true together. Today, I have 3 tips for you for finding more time and increasing your capacity for your homesteading responsibilities. Now, this should help you whether you are a homestead beginner or a dreamer. If you're in the dreaming stage, these are some exercises that you can do to help you find more time in your day to increase your capacity. So these tips may seem counterintuitive because they actually take time to do, but instead of being time-sucking activities, they become productivity hacks that you won't want to live without. Oftentimes, we get into ruts where we think we're doing all of the necessary things to be productive, but what's really happening is we're building up stress because we feel what we're feeling is overwhelming instead of productivity. No matter how much we try to convince ourselves to believe that we're being productive, we're actually super overwhelmed. So even though it may seem sometimes like the homesteading life is immune to stress and overwhelm, it is not. There may be times in your journey you will have to step back and decide where your time is best spent. There are ways to find more time and increase your capacity, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. And if after listening to this, if you're tempted to say, I don't have time, let me ask you a question. Do you have time for a nervous breakdown? Do you have time for stress that has you so wound up you can't function? Or do you have time for stress that causes your organs to not work properly? Because that's what happens when you have prolonged stress. And I think the answer to that, you would say, is no. So we're going to talk through ways that you can reduce some of your mental energy so that you can have more energy. Here are 3 ways for you to find more time and increase your capacity. For the first one is slow down. Now, that doesn't sound like the right answer for something where I'm talking about finding more time, but as we slow down, a lot of things happen. And this is one way you can slow down by doing a 5 senses reset. So, first, I want to ask you, have you ever watched a toddler go through a meltdown? They get so worked up and nothing seems to be satisfying them. There's no consoling them. It's just tears and crying. It's like they need a reset. It's like they just need a reset. As adults, we can relate to these toddler meltdowns. We may not express them in the same fashion, but we can relate. I have felt this way. I have felt like I wanted a total meltdown and totally to fall on the floor and cry for endlessly, but I don't normally do that. But here's a way you can reset. And I just did this the other day with my granddaughter, and I didn't realize I was doing it until we, you know, until later. But this is something that you can do for yourself or for your children as well. We have sight, we have touch, we have taste, we have scent, and we have hearing. So those are our five senses, right? So when you're feeling in a way that you feel like you just need a reset, it means you do need a reset. It means something needs to change so that you can have your focus different, so that you can find hope where you feel there's no hope, or whatever it is. You can relax your muscles. Whatever it is that you need to do this first. So look first. Look for something beautiful in nature or in your surroundings. There are always beautiful things. So look for something beautiful, the sky, the landscape, the ocean, the wildlife. I mean, there's so many things that you can find. Even if you're at a desk, you can find things that are beautiful. So the second one is feel. So find something to feel that's soft. Find something that you like to touch, or the air in the environment that you're in. Like feel, use that sense of feeling. Get your hands dirty in the dirt, go in the garden and start touching the soil. That's something that can also help you reset. And the next one is taste. So you can eat something that fuels your body, but also tastes good. So I highly recommend that fuels your body, because, the sugar sensation can make you feel good for a moment, but then it causes you to crash. But if you have some fruits, vegetables, your favorite protein, something that you enjoy eating that is healthy, will also be a good reset. And then there's smell. So scent is a way for you to instantly transport yourself to a memory. It can change your whole outlook on life pretty instantly, because the brain is so connected to our nose and our scent. So you can diffuse oils, essential oils. I don't recommend candles unless they're like beeswax candles. Something that is natural, that comes from nature. That's what I would recommend for scent. Or if you're even just cooking, and the scent from something that is healthy that you're cooking might also bring you back and be a really good reset. And then hearing your sound, listen to some music, or listen to the sound of nature, listen to water rushing in a lake, or in a creek. Those are all things that can help you reset. So this activity, well, you can do all 5, or you can do one, however many you can. You can do all 5 if you just take a walk in the woods and bring a snack along, or walk in nature at the park and bring a snack with you. You can do all 5 of those things. But this is just a way to reset your body so that you can focus on what's important. So, number 2 on the 3 ways to find more energy and increase your capacity would be do a mental energy audit. Where you spend your mental energy is really important. So, where are you spending your mental energy? I've learned over the 30 plus years being a mom that spending mental energy is way more exhausting than using physical energy. And over the years, I've learned to become very protective of my mental energy. So if you've never done a mental energy audit, I encourage you to take time out of your day today and really think about what you're spending your time thinking about. Just do this activity. Are you scrolling social media and thoughts of envy or discontent or anger or frustration come to mind? That's mental energy you're spending. You're depleting from your daily energy bank. Are you getting upset about a trivial thing that you have no control over? That's another way we spend our mental energy. Is that there's something in your life that's just kind of non-important, but you've just decided to fixate on it and you can't think about anything else. That's a way you're spending mental energy. How can you stop doing that so that you can use that energy for other things? Are you setting your expectations so high that it's stealing the joy out of your life? You could be having a joyful day and a productive flowing day, but you've set your expectations so high that you cannot meet them, and therefore your energy is expelled in a non-productive way. You could be putting expectations on other people, which will also take energy away from you. After you audit your mental energy, start taking things you recognize that are draining you and start getting rid of them. So unfollow social media accounts that bring up bad feelings. Talk with people who bring positivity to the table instead of negativity. That's another area. And don't set your life expectations or your expectations of others so high that it's stealing your energy, your mental energy. Another place we can use our mental energy is when we put out content online, especially social media. We can't help it but wonder what other people are thinking after we post something. It's just the way communication works, right? It's normal to actually wonder what somebody thinks after you say something. So, normal communication works like I say something, you respond. I say something, you respond. That's what's happening with social media, except some people don't respond. So, we end up feeling like the conversation is not over. At least that's the way it is for me. I feel like the conversation is not over. I want to see what people think. And we have access to the world, right? So we could have one person respond or we could have thousands of people respond. But I think that's what is so unhealthy about social media, but it's also very normal. I finally realized it's a very normal position to be in when you have put something out there. It's like you're communicating with people. And if they don't respond, you feel like it's not finished. So you go back. You have this unhealthy part where you keep going back to find out what the person said or how the person responded. But we have no individual person. We have all the people that could be responding. So it's kind of like a, a hamster wheel in that we're never satisfied. The next way to find more time and increase your capacity would be to have productive quiet time. Now that you have audited your mental energy, now have a productive quiet time with your thoughts. Productive quiet time first needs to be quiet. You need to have like an alone time. And for some people, this sounds really scary, the thought of being alone with your thoughts. And if you're that person, I just highly recommend you get some help and try to understand why it is you don't want to be alone with your thoughts. And if you can work through that with someone, that would be helpful because I think being alone with your thoughts and contemplating and being in a place where you're thinking and learning to like yourself, about yourself is really important for growth. We can get so much accomplished when we set aside this quiet time. Dreams are born in quiet time, ideas are formed, and then we learn also to have a relationship with ourselves. And I think it's really important that we have a good relationship with ourselves. So, this quiet time will allow for that. And it'll free up mental energy in that you're not using that energy to shame yourself or belittle yourself, but you're using that energy to uplift yourself. So, that's why I say productive, quiet time with your thoughts. While these three things won't instantly give you more time, the practice will. Practicing it will. Over time, it will. As an introvert, I often do mental energy audits. In fact, I just unfollowed several of the groups on Facebook that I had been following because I realized I was spending way too much time thinking about the things that were just distractions. I'm not saying don't be a part of Facebook groups, obviously. I'm saying if there's a distraction that you don't need, just get rid of it. Stop following it. It would once it's gone, you stop thinking about it. That's another thing that I realized. Once it's not coming in my feed, I stop thinking about it. So I don't really think about it anymore. The way we find more time is by freeing up mental energy, which will also free up our capacity for taking on more productive things. And that is all I have to share. I really think that these three things will help you. And let's recap. Number one, slow down and do a five senses reset. Number two, do a mental energy audit. And number three, set aside productive, quiet time with your thoughts. Okay, so I hope that helped you. If you want to further this conversation, just head over to Instagram if you'd like, or you can email me at mona@healthyhomesteading.com.